On this episode of Blush Podcast, host Kelly sits down with fantasy author Fay Messina to talk about all things Beguiled, her steamy debut featuring enemies to lovers, a love triangle, and plenty of magic. Fay shares how motherhood sparked her writing journey, what makes a good fight or kiss scene, and the real-life muse behind her fictional heartthrob. If you love your fantasy with heat, heart, and a hint of chaos, this one's for you.
Hello, everybody. We're here with Fay Messina, and she is a fantasy author, and her debut novel called Beguiled is coming out in the fall. So we're going to chat all about that and also do some naughty questions. Welcome,
Thank you. I'm
Fay.
super excited to be here.
Yes, thanks for joining me. Okay. Are you ready to get into it? All right, let's go.
Yep.
Oh, wait, before we do questions, we have to talk about our beverages. So go ahead, tell me what you have.
I am drinking a Smirnoff Red, White, and Blue, which they only have in July, and I put it in a fancy glass, but it's delicious.
It looks super fancy. I love it. What is it? Is it like kind of like, I imagine it either being like raspberry or like a rocket pop.
It's like a rocket pop. It's delicious. I love it.
Yeah, that's great. So I put out a questionnaire. We did this last summer to ask people what their favorite summer cocktails were so I could drink them on the show. And I've been really bad at like procuring all of the items. And especially like today, since I just got back from vacation. But I brought, or what I'm using, drinking, whatever, today. It doesn't look exciting. It's cider from a winery where I was up north in Michigan.
Okay.
And this is one of my favorite wineries. And they have this cider called Cinnamon Girl. And it is like apple pie, but not super sweet.
Yeah.
You know how like I wouldn't want to drink like liquid apple pie for ever. But this is like, it smells like apple pie. It's so good. It even, I don't know, it has that like crusty smell too. That sounds so bad.
Like the yeast smell.
Crusty smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's cider. So, you know, but it's so good. It's nice and crisp and it has that like cinnamon
That
flavor.
does sound delicious.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, I walked in there and I was just like, "Hi, I want a growler of Cinnamon Girl." And they're like, "Do you want to taste it first?" And I'm like, "Sure. I know what it tastes like, but yes, I will have all of it." It's so good. Let's get some questions going. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. What can you tell us about your book?
So Beguiled is an enemies to lovers with a love triangle, and it's about a like 3 chili pepper spice level. So basically, it's urban fantasy. Talia's this 20-year-old girl. She's living her life. She's living in Colorado, and then suddenly she's kind of kidnapped by this tall stranger with white hair and green eyes, and she finds out she is the queen of the Sealy court, and she's just like, I have no idea what's happening here. But as she goes on, she starts to regain her memories, and she's betrothed to the guy who kidnapped her. But she starts falling for his brother. So yeah, it is fun.
That's fun. That sounds like all of the like best tropes are like all together.
They're my favorite ones. So I was like, I have to write it.
So might as well put them in there. So how did you decide to start writing? It sounds like you're like a fan of the genre. So what made you think, I need to make a story?
I have always been an avid reader. I've been reading since I was in the 4th grade, basically. I learned to read before that, but I've been reading seriously since the 4th grade for enjoyment. And then I had my second child, and I was pregnant with my third, and I was just kind of like drowning in motherhood.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a hobby. I need something that is for me that I can do on a regular basis without having to leave the house too much because I had 2 young children and I was very pregnant. So I just sat down and started writing a book.
That's awesome. That's I don't know, just a cool way, because it is hard to like kind of remember to cut a little like piece away for yourself. So you like are like, I need something to make me still feel like I'm me,
Exactly.
and not just mom.
Yes.
So that's really awesome. That's a cool outlet, I suppose. So then how did you come up with the idea for this story?
So it's kind of like the inspiration is taken from like books that I read many years ago. And I was like, well, this is a cool plot line, but what if this happened? And then I read another book. I'm like, well, that's kind of cool too, but what if this happened and this happened? And then it just kind of spun out of my brain. I don't know. Um, and I learned that when I first started, I was like, I'm just going to start writing. And now I like do plot outlines and I do character sketches. And I'm just like, because Beguiled, I started writing 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yes. And in those 10 years, I got my bachelor's in creative writing. And I was just like, what is this hot mess that I have put on the screen? So it's been through a lot of editing. And I'm just like, I'm super proud of where it came from to where it is now.
That's awesome. That's really cool that it's like a journey that long in the making, you
Yes.
know?
I was so proud when I actually finished it because around September of last year when we were moving to Hawaii, I was a teacher. So I was like, I did not have the mental space for anything. But we were moving to Hawaii and I was like, I don't have the right teaching certifications over here. I don't think I'm going to go back to teaching right now. And then I told my husband, I'm like, what I would like to do is stay home for a while and write this book. And he was like, absolutely, go for it. So that is what I did.
That's awesome. And that's awesome to have a supportive partner too, you know? I think that makes a lot of
It
difference.
really does. He is the most supportive. He like is my biggest cheerleader. He doesn't even like he's a reader, but he's not like a romanticy reader, but he read my book
Mhm.
and that's like the true testament of love right there because he's like I don't like this genre really, but I'm going to read this for you. I'm like thank you.
Aw, that's really nice that he can be supportive like that for you. So, your characters, are they inspired by anybody in real life, or how do you come up with the ideas for them?
So one of my characters, the personality is definitely based on my husband. He has that not so much the looks because my husband is like he's in the military, so he's very clean shaven. Like he shaves his
Mhm.
head. He's like typical military man. And I'm like, that's fine, but it's not exactly like, I mean, I love it, but it's not exactly like romanticy.
Yeah, like that's not yeah.
And he's not, a fae.
Right. Who's like
But
that's not doesn't sound like Faye, you know.
his personality is definitely throughout one of my main characters. And then I have a pixie in there that is based off of
Mhm.
one of my best friends from high school. And he was like
Aw.
kind of reading along and helping me edit when I first started writing this book 10 years ago. And I was like, I'm basing this character off of you. He's like, you're basing me off of the pixie? I'm like, yes, absolutely. And he was like, go for it. And then when I finished it and was going to publish it, I was like, I should probably ask him if he's still fine with me basing this character off of him. And so I reached out to him. I'm like, I'm about to publish. Are you still okay with this? He's like, yeah, that's fine.
Aw, that's awesome. That's nice that you were aware of that too and asked if he's okay
Yeah.
with it. So, you said it's like a 3 spice level, right?
Yes.
Is there I'm assuming because it's Fae, is there like violence and stuff in it? Are they like
Yes, there
at
is.
war or whatever?
Yes, there is definitely violence. There's sword fights, there's sword training. We get like a whole like training montage thing. And then there is a war because part of it is someone is trying to remove her from the throne and that's why they had to bring her back in the first place. And so there's definitely fighting.
Cool. So, I'm always so curious about how like fantasy authors like research or like search engines on Google look like. How did you figure out how to do sword training?
So I've actually been interested in sword training for a really long time. And for like my hand to hand stuff, I did Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for a long time.
Oh, wow.
So I have like hands-on training with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and then the sword fighting, I like to watch a lot of action movies with sword
Mhm.
fighting in them.
So then if with some of the probably like the war scenes or whatever, I'm sure there's probably some intense scenes or like the spicy scenes or whatever. How do you get in the headspace to write those? Or like do you or like the action scenes, like do you like try to act them out first and be like, does this work? Does this work? Like how does that all come together?
For some of it, yes. Like it's so funny because well, my husband like walked in on me one time and I was just like trying to figure something out by physically like putting myself into the position and he came home from lunch and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Don't ask. Just go away." Um, but also sometimes I like to watch shows or something while I'm writing, because if I want to write a particularly like intense emotional scene, I'll watch Grey's Anatomy because it like always puts me in a very intense emotional state. And then with like the spicy scenes, I went and rewatched Bridgerton because I was like, I'm struggling with the romance scenes, and this is very romance. And then I'm just like, okay, I see. But when I first started writing the spicy scenes, I was like blushing so hard, and they weren't even like good spicy scenes at the beginning as I was writing them. I've edited them since,
Yeah.
but I was writing them and I'm like blushing, and I'm not even like a sexually repressed person or anything. Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
but it was so different writing it. And I was Googling how to write a good sex scene. Because there's some really great articles out there. And I was
Yeah.
like, I wrote this, is it can be improved though. So I was like doing my research. And we had some maintenance guys working on our garage, and I did not realize that he had walked into the door that like connects into our kitchen, which is where my desk was, and he like walked right behind me, and I have never hit minimize so fast. But yeah, that's
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I was on a plane once and I was sitting by the window and some random person was next to me and I had my Kindle on. And then all of a sudden it was like he's ripping her fishnets with his teeth and like doing all this stuff. And I was like, do, 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 do.
yeah,
Like maybe, hopefully you can't see my screen.
yeah,
But I bet that guy had a great story when he came home. He's like, you will
probably
never guess what, if he happened to see it.
yes,
I'll say that he did not see it. He did not see it. You minimized it quickly enough.
yes, that's the hope.
Yes. Is this going to be a standalone or is it going to be part of a series or what?
It is part of a duet with a solstice novella in between them. The solstice novella will be coming out in December on my birthday, but it's kind of like a bridge between the first book and the second book, because the second book focuses on different main characters that we meet in the first book, but it's like a different love story into the second book.
Cool. I like that. That's a
Yeah.
nice bridge between the two. Yeah, that's really cool. And so then the second one would probably be coming out sometime next year, maybe?
Yes,
Or
I'm
okay.
aiming for June, hopefully.
Do you have ideas for other stories or not yet? Or like what's going on in your mind?
So currently, I have the first draft of a different story written, and then I have the first draft of the solstice novella written. And so the second story is called Witching Hour. I have the first draft written. It's been to alpha readers and is going to a developmental editor later in August. So Witching Hour is paranormal romance. It is based on Farron. She is participating in trials to join the Grand Coven, and she starts out going through these trials, and she has a girlfriend. Every person who's in the trials gets a mentor to help them through them, and her mentor is this, hard ass named Killian that is like trying to survive, but she also has rheumatoid arthritis because I also have
Oh,
it.
wow.
So I wanted to include it in my main character, and so she's having to go through all these trials with, chronic joint pain.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes about how stubborn she is and like getting through. And I think it's going to be fun.
That sounds really cool. And I really like that there's things like that highlighted. Like, a lot of times the characters in these doing like crazy intense things, they're just like, la da da da. I can do that and I'm great. And I'm like I have like terrible joint issues and stuff too. And so I'm like,
Yes.
bitch, how do you do that?
Yes, exactly. Like I said, I did Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and sometimes I didn't know why my knees hurt so much at the time or my elbows hurt so much at the time. And
hmm
like a small hyper extension, like from practicing arm bars, for most people, they're like, yeah, I'm better the next day. For me, it would like put me out of commission for a week. And I'm like, what is
Yeah.
happening? But now I
hmm
know, and it makes a lot of sense. So I like to add that little bit of realism into my main character.
That's super awesome. I really like that. Fantasy is so interesting to me. How people come up with all of these ideas. Like, do you just have a crazy imagination? They're just all sitting there, or does things inspire you? Like, how
I
does
think
it?
it's a mixture. Like, I get some inspiration from things, but then I also have a crazy imagination. And part of it is anxiety. So I'm just like, what if this happens or this happens? And I'm like, I could put that in a book. But yeah, so it's kind of half and half.
Half and half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of another cool way to deal with anxiety too, instead of just like letting it spiral, you're like, let me put this into a book. I like that.
Yes, yeah. I enjoy overthinking, and overthinking just happens to be a really good characteristic for a writer.
Yeah, for sure. I am not a writer, but I definitely overthink things all the time. So I would imagine just like writing your thoughts out, even if they're all over the place, would be kind of cathartic or something, right?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so sort of along those lines, what sort of advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about writing their first book?
My advice would be to do the pre-planning, even if you want to like jump into writing. And there are some people that, just writing the book works for. But I would have saved so much time on writing my book if I had actually planned it out a little instead of just writing. And because stuff changed and the characters changed, and it's just having to reread all of this every time I wanted to change something. I'm like, I could have just had a plot outline and make notes when I change something, and then it wouldn't have to reread it. So, yeah, I would definitely at least give yourself some semblance of a plan, even if it changes. My plot outline changes every single time. I just start writing and then I'm like, oh, that's better. I like this better. But it also gives me like a guideline. And I get through first drafts a lot faster than 10 years now.
Yeah, I mean, it probably isn't too difficult to get through it quicker than 10 years, but I would think like it would seem to do plot outline or something seems like, oh, this is too much extra work at the beginning. I just want to write my idea. But then, like you said, in the long run, it saves a lot of time.
Yes. And your editor will love you.
Yeah, I'm sure, rather than being like, you said this, but earlier you said that couldn't happen. So yeah, well, that's great. You sound like you're very organized, which is something I like about people.
I feel like I have to be organized because if I don't, my life is a disaster.
Okay, do you want to do some of our naughty or blush questions?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Oh wait, before we do that, are there any like events like book signings or anything that you're going to be at?
Oh, I have a few events lined up for next year.
What events do you have next year?
Another bookish ball in Pennsylvania, and then I'm doing an event in Denver, Colorado.
Okay, so let's do some of our naughtier questions. This is a fun one I always like to do. Do you have a story of something you've done after like a full bottle of wine or way too many of your little rocket pop Smirnoffs or whatever they are?
Like, I don't know. One time, my husband and I went to downtown Denver because we lived in Colorado before, and we were walking around and we had dinner reservations. But then we went to this speakeasy bar, and
Cool.
I only had 2 cocktails, but I am a notorious lightweight. Like, it does not take much. And then I was hungry, but our reservation wasn't for like 2 hours. So we stopped at this cute little Mexican restaurant that like just did tacos and nachos. And then they also had margaritas. So he got me a margarita. And then we get to our dinner reservations and he gets me wine. And I was like practically falling asleep in the booth because I was so drunk.
You're just like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yep. And this was a fancy restaurant too. It wasn't like a Olive Garden or something. This was like a nice
Right.
steakhouse. And I was falling asleep in the booth after too many cocktails.
Whoops-a-doops.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And it sounds like you mixed a whole bunch of different kinds of drinks together
I
too.
did.
Which is,
And that was a mistake.
yeah.
Or it
Mhm.
was fun. What depends on how you look at it.
Depends on how you look at it. Were you feeling okay the next day?
Oh yeah, I don't get hungover, surprisingly.
Well,
Like,
that's good.
I don't know why. I get like slight hangovers every now and then.
Do you have a first kiss story?
First kiss ever, or like,
First kiss ever.
huh?
Or you can do first, like, I don't know. Yeah, first kiss ever.
First kiss
If it's a good
ever.
story.
It's not really it's nothing really special to it. The first kiss with my husband has a funny story.
Ooh, yes, tell that one.
So my husband and I actually met online when we were 13.
13?
Yes,
That's
13.
so cute.
And we were long distance for like a year. We talked on the phone all the time, and we were 13 in love.
So how did you, sorry to interrupt you. How did you meet online? I mean, it's not like you were on like Tinder or something,
No, so I'm aging myself a little bit now, but they had like those Yahoo chat rooms.
Yep. I
And
was going to ask if it was something like that.
yep, that's how we met. And then we didn't meet in person until we were 18. We broke up when we were like 14, and then just he was going to basic training.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to basic. Can I write you?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine." And then we were writing letters back and forth, and he'd called me on his days to call people. And then we met in person when we were 18. I went to his family day because he was at Fort Benning, Georgia, and I lived in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
But he was from Minnesota, so he was just like, "I'm going to be in Georgia. This is only like
Yeah.
7 hours from you. Do you want to come to my family day?" I was like, "Yeah." And then it was funny because my mom took me. She was like, I was 18, and she was like, "I know you are 18 and you can go if you want to, but I would feel better if I take you." And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, that's fine."
That's
So
fair.
she drove me and she met him, and then um, we all went to dinner, and she was dropping us off like because he had a hotel that weekend and I had a hotel with my mom that weekend at the same place. And
Mm-hmm.
she was dropping us off and she just like was got to his building and she's like, "All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow." And his face was like, "Okay." It was so funny. But he kissed me when I like went to get him
Oh, yeah,
out,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and that was our first kiss, and it was super sweet.
Aw, that's really cute. I love that though. That's really cool that it was I have a couple friends who they started dating in like 6th grade and they're still together and it's just amazing that something like that can happen. That's really sweet.
He is absolutely my best friend, and I can't imagine like first of all, there's no one on earth I'll be more comfortable with ever, so I can't
Mhm.
divorce him. But he's my best friend. Right now, he's in Hawaii still, and I'm in
Yeah.
Mississippi, and he's like, "I don't know what to do without you here."
Aw, that's so sweet. What is he still active duty?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
So how does that work? Like that's got to be really tough when he's deployed or something too,
It
right?
definitely can be. Like we have 4 kids, so yeah.
Yeah.
He went to Poland last year, and then he also went to Poland when our youngest was 4 months old.
Oh my gosh.
And this was when I was teaching, so like it was a lot. I was very stressed. It can be hard, but he's his full 20, so we've kind of
Yeah.
adapted.
Well, that's nice though because then you're quite a bit younger when you retire than like a
Yes,
normal person. So
he'll be
that's
like
really nice.
48 when we
Yeah.
retire. So,
Yeah, that's really nice.
and then I told him it's my turn to do all of my stuff, and he's like, "That's fine."
Yeah, that's really cool. That's nice. Way to go. Way to have an actual partnership, you know?
It
Like
is
that's
very nice.
awesome.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. Aw. Okay, who or what, not what. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh, Brendan Fraser.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I love him.
From what movie?
The
What made
Mummy.
you The Mummy, of
Yes.
course.
Yeah. Honestly though, like my entire because I'm pansexual, so I like all
Mhm.
genders. So that movie was just like my first crush all around
Yeah,
because
that's what I was gonna ask, yeah.
we had
Like,
like
so many people are like that, you know?
yes, absolutely. I'm like, yes, this is my it's still my favorite movie. Um
Mhm.
the manuscript I told you that I'm working on currently that I'm
Mhm.
still writing is kind of like a gender bent mummy where is the woman that is like the gun wielding
Oh, yeah.
archaeologist, but
Mhm.
she's also a doctor. So she's a doctor of anthropology and she's like has a gun and stuff and she meets this eternal librarian type and
Ooh,
I'm excited about it.
that's cool. Yeah, I know. I It's so funny every time I see like anything about the mummy, it's always people are just like, and that's my entire sexual awakening for everything, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Because it's Brendan Fraser looking the best he's ever looked, I
Oh my
think.
gosh, yes.
Rachel Weisz, oh my God, she's
Yes.
gorgeous.
She is like um
Yeah.
my main character's looks are based off of her and I'm just like she is so pretty. I can't
Mm-hmm.
even like
Yeah. And her voice is like velvet voice I don't know what it is, but she just
yes.
sounds like oh, yeah, she's
Yep,
amazing.
she
And
is.
then the mummy guy, whatever.
Imogen, yep.
Yes. I haven't watched it in a while, obviously, but maybe I need to. But yeah, I know. I love that everybody is just like universally like, oh, it's the mummy.
Yep,
That's for me. That was my pan by whatever awakening.
exactly.
I love it. I was gonna ask before you said the mummy. I was gonna say, oh, is it Brendan Fraser and Encino Man? Because that's like when I first saw him, and I was
Yeah.
like, this. this dude's hilarious.
Yes.
And, and then the mummy happened and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
but he's also hot.
Yep, exactly. And that's the best combination because my husband is so funny. That is honestly like the main reason I married him is he makes me laugh and he's hilarious. So
Yeah.
when they're funny and hot, you're just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah. I mean, sense of humor goes a long way.
it does.
If Brandon were here, this is when she'd be like, all right, guys, because she always likes to give them pointers. And that is it. Like, if you've got a sense of humor and a good personality, you will be more attractive to other people.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Then if you're just like, you could be like, look like a model and just be like I don't know, just like an asshole sitting there. Like, do you have a skinny dipping story?
A few actually. So I've been skinny dipping in a like ocean setting. So it was not with my current husband. It was with an ex-boyfriend. We were on a trip or something, and yes, we went skinny dipping in the ocean. And then I've also been skinny dipping with my best friend quite a few times because she had a pool in her backyard when we were, younger
yeah.
and best friends, and we would just like go swim naked all the time. And it was fantastic. It's very freeing.
It is. That's awesome. I like that, because there's been lots of times where it's like, oh, I forgot my swimsuit. And people are like, oh, just wear your like undies,
Yeah.
But full on skinny dipping is nice. And this is where Penny and I have talked about our stories. And I was like, so when we were in high school and we went skinny dipping, it was like, a bunch of people, whatever. We lived out in the country. And then it'd be like, ooh, these people are going to sneak off and make out. These people are going to sneak off and make out. And she's like, you didn't just go swimming and enjoy being free? And I was like, no, that's not what skinny dipping is. And she's like,
no, I agree. Like sometimes you can just go be naked and free. I don't like clothes. If I have the option, I will be naked. But that is not everyone's thing. But if I have the option,
frowned upon. Yeah.
Yeah. If I have the option, I will be naked.
Which characters would you do like FMK, like fuck, marry, kill with your characters?
Okay. Mary Rainier, which is not one of the male main characters, is actually my female main character's brother. But he is like hilarious and hot and amazing. And I actually had people messaging me when I published originally and just am rebranding. I had people message me like, I love him. Will I see more of him? I was like, stick around for book 2 because that's gonna. And then for the fuck one, I would have to be Rune, and then I would kill Casimir. And if you read the book, you'll find out why.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited to find out why. Is Rune the one who's inspired by your husband?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Rainier kind of is too, the sense of humor. Rainier's sense of humor is based on my husband. Rune is kind of based on my husband's like personality when he's at work.
Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yes.
And getting this into your insane schedule.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, I'll let you go and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.